again to my channel, hashtag Analytics. Okay, here we are again to continue our blog on Power BI. And with me, of course, is Lee Kenneth Pugapan, my students here in the CS program. Okay, so what's a new thing in this Power BI for the continuation of our demonstration? To be demonstrated by Lee is to work with multiple pages and multiple chart. Okay, we also include the map chart on how to use it in this demonstration. Okay, so Lee is in charge of this demonstration. Okay, Lee, before we start the demonstration, can you please share to them your experience in using this Power BI?
Sure. So regarding Power BI, since this will be the continuation, I'll be teaching you how to manage the relations of those charts in that certain page. And also, in addition, I'll be teaching you how to utilize the map chart with specific locations just to make sure that you can get the accurate location that the data is mentioning.
Okay, so that has been said. Okay, so let's start our demonstration. Okay, please watch the entire video. Okay, let's now start. Okay?
Let's go. So right now, I'll be showing you how to use multiple displays or multiple charts. So regarding those charts, I will be showing you how to manage those charts in multiple pages. So before we get started, we need first a large size data. So on that large size data, just kindly make sure that it doesn't need any more corrections, just to make sure we can get started. So yeah, moving on. As you can see on my Power BI platform, it's a blank canvas. So on the right side of my screen, you can see fields. I already have here my data, and it's already been edited. No more errors, no more incorrect edits. So yeah, the picture I'm trying to give you here is imagine yourself in an executive position. So in a executive position, imagining that you're running a foundation or a charity. So the charity you have would have donations. So right now we're trying to get the specific numbers of donations on the company that was able to provide you those donations. So yeah, let's start. So before we get started, we can name first, since this is page 1, we can name this as, or label this as acquired donations. So you can just easily click text box and highlight those, and on that text box that you have, you can just easily edit the format as well as the size. So feel free to choose the size as well as highlighting it in any design you want, just to make sure that it would be labeled. So right now we've labeled page 1 as acquired donations. So I do believe that since you've already used the Power BI on in our first video, I will show you a technique where you can lock also your inputs in the Power BI platform. So for this instance, you on acquired donations, you can just easily click View and click Donations and lock these objects, just to avoid incorrect incorrect clicks or just basically dragging it everywhere on the platform. So since we were able to label this as acquired donations, let's try to add charts. So the first chart that I'm going to add right here would be a line and cluster chart. So this would be my line and cluster chart. So right now I would be, since that we're trying to find the specific donations or how many donations that we have right now. So let's first go to donations. Let's utilize first the data that I have in my fields. So on organizations, I can easily put in organizations in shared access, and in columns I can easily put on column values, I can put amount of donation. So right now the company we have is Oracle, Cisco, and Symantec. Do apologize, I kind of missed an N right there. So, but I do believe that you get the idea. So on this specific chart, I will edit the chart by simply going to format. So format is in the bottom of visualizations. So again, each chart has its own format. So it really depends on the chart that you're going to use. So let's just say you're using this chart right here, this line and cluster column chart. So this line and cluster column chart has its own functions when you try to edit. So right now, let's just easily go to the format, and you can check or edit the data, or the, let's just say, the overall functions of this chart. So I'll try to first edit. Let's try to click on the background. So on the background, I can just easily color this as gray, just to make sure that it would be perfectly highlighted. So moving on, let's try to find things to edit on this chart. So everything looks perfect on this setting right here. Data color. So let's try to edit the data color. Okay. So right here, I can just easily select each color. So Oracle, let's try to put Oracle as blue, leave that as blue, and Cisco as red, Symantec yellow. So there you go. We were able to edit the format of this specific chart. So since we already have a perfect view of our first chart, so Oracle has basically a total of a range of 1 million. So we have 1 million for Oracle. Cisco has around almost 0.5, and Symantec has around 200,000. So that's not really an accurate view of our display, but we can easily edit that just to make sure that we can highlight a much more better chart. So I'm just going to click on format, and let's try to edit some things here. So let's try to edit this on a much lighter color. Let's put that in green. Oh, my bad. Black, and let's highlight the text. Also, you can change the font as well, the size of the font, just to make sure that you can have a much more better view, or it shows an accurate details of the chart. All right. Perfect. And there we go. As well, the color. Okay, so moving on with the next chart. Let's try to use a gauge. So on the next chart, I'll be using a gauge. So I'll just resize this, and we can easily lock this chart. Lock object, So I wouldn't be able to move this as well this. So when you lock objects, it currently locks every object that you have within this specific page. So right now, on Gauge, I can easily click the names of, I can easily put names on value. So technically, we have 19 people. So on that 19 people, those are the people that were able to donate. So they are from different companies within the three companies. That's from Oracle, Cisco, and Symantec. So right now, we'll just try to edit this chart as well. I'm just gonna show you how different the setting of this chart has with the first chart. So if you can see, this chart has basically the y and x axis. Let's try to view the second chart. So the second chart doesn't really have an x and y axis, but just a gauge axis because it has a different design as well as a different layout. Okay, so moving on, let's try to imagine a minimum of zero. Oh, let's try to imagine a minimum of one person. And on the maximum, let's try to put that as 25, but only 19 were able to attend. So the target that we need is around 20. So this gives you the option to edit the target, the minimum, the maximum, as well the target of your chart. So this has a completely different setup. So as well, we can edit the color just to let you see the view that this also has the same function as the first chart, but more or less it is within the design. The design itself has a different function, but on the background you can easily change as well the color, let's just say more on display, but regarding on statistics, it has a different kind of setup. So moving on, let's try to set up a pie chart. But this pie chart, we will just be utilizing the buttons of the pie chart because we would be trying to connect these, we'll try to connect these two charts on the pie chart. So like I said, I'll teach you how to manage each chart or try to connect, or let's try to figure out how we can manage this charts. So on that part, we can just either click pie chart, and on pie chart, I can just easily put in the names of the people that attended, these 19 people that attended. So there you go. I already have the names of those people. And again, it's much better when you customize your charts because it gives it a much more, let's say, a lively approach. It gives you a much more lively approach. And it avoids confusion as well when one chart interacts with another. So again, on this part, since it's kind of hard to see who those people are, we can just easily click that, or we can just easily edit that by adjusting the format itself. So you can just easily go back, click the chart, you can just easily click the pie chart and go down to visualizations and click format. So we can just click on data color, and once we go to data color, we can just easily adjust the size of the text. So there we go. It's almost showing up. And if you're having a hard time, you can just easily check each category here, each box or each setting that we have for that specific chart, just to make sure to avoid confusion. So right here on the names, there you go. We can just easily size. We can just easily adjust the size. So this gives you a much more clearer view. So on the names, you can just click name, and we'll try to use filters. So filters and formats are what keeps these charts active or lively. And on format, since I'm clicking the pie chart right here, we'll try to use filters. Let's try to put the amount of the donations in filters. So here on filters, if you're wondering, there are two types of filters. The other one is for advanced filtering, which you can just choose around how many people to filter out. But we'll try to use first the basic filtering. So the basic filtering gives you an accurate view on how much people donated or how much the people gave you or donated to your fund. So let's just say I wanted to know who donated around 5,000. So 5,000 shows me Peter. Peter showed me. Power BI showed me that Peter donated 5,000. So it basically interacted with the pie chart since we were able to set up the filter in pie chart. And once I click Peter, those two charts that we have right here interacted. So we can change that interaction. So once we click Peter again, pie chart number one, I am my mistake. The first chart moved as well, the second chart moved. So we can manage the relations of these three charts. So right now, we'll try to click format and we can click edit interactions. So on interactions, let's just say I managed to click this. So I can just easily, oh sorry, it kind of blocks the, okay. So I'm gonna click first the first chart and I'm gonna click edit interactions, and this on the top of the chart shows up. So we can just easily click none, and when we go back, and let's try to lock all objects just to avoid from moving it. And alright, so again, let's try to click on 3,000. I wanted to know who donated 3,000. It shows me Jack, so I'll click on Jack. So it shows an accurate point of, so Jack is from Cisco, so Jack donated around 3,000. But still, the first chart, the second chart is interacting with the first chart. But when I try to click this, okay, the second chart doesn't move. So again, let's try to edit the interaction within this chart. So I'm gonna click this. Okay, so when I click Jack, the second chart doesn't move anymore. It doesn't interact with the third chart. So when I tried also to click the first chart and basically click any visualizations within this chart, doesn't interact with the second chart. So yeah, this is how you set up interactions or how you manage the relations with these three charts. So on the second page, I'm gonna teach you how to use locations, how these locations can interact, or how the locations, or basically the parameter of your data. So just to make sure, we can use the map, map chart, and just to give you a small details on the deductible side of my fields or data, um, we can just label the second page as, let's just say, deductibles. Deductibles. Again, you can change the font as well the size. So let's put the size to 40. Deductibles, and I'm gonna move this upward. There you go. Perfect. Put that in bold. Alright. So this is the map chart. On the map chart, I'm gonna use my data. So this data has a specific location that can, so let's just say the locations that I have on my data, Power BI already analyzes that specific location and it gives an accurate target within the map. So just to give you a small visualization, it kind of takes a while. So I'm gonna put a location. There you go. And it basically shows up. There you go. So we can zoom in and zoom out. So again, I was able to put locations in location and the location tab of visualizations. So since I'm clicking this chart, I can just basically edit the color. So I can put, those are bubbles. So those blue things that are popping up right here, this blue point right here, I can easily click the color of that. So I'm gonna edit that, and let's just say I'm gonna enlarge it a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Also, I can edit the maps. Basically, I can edit the map that is here on my chart. So I'm just gonna click on aerial. So it gives me a much more detailed view. So when I click that, see, it interacts also with other maps. So going back, I'm just gonna zoom out. I'm just gonna put aerial instead. All right, I'm just gonna move this up. And just to, since we are trying to present this in a much more simple way, let's try to find a good map that can, find a good chart that can interact with the first chart on the map. So let's try to use a slicer. All right, there we go, slicer. And we can just easily put the location. All right, I'm just gonna move this down here. Okay. There we go. I'm just gonna also edit this just to avoid, confusion as well, to give a much more view detail on this chart right here. It's not really a chart, but it's more like creating a button to interact with the first map. So I'm just gonna enlarge the title. There you go. I'm gonna enlarge the names that are on my slicer. Here we go. Perfect. And I'm just gonna change it. All right, put that as area black and edit the color. Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna move this down right here. Okay. So since I want to know how many deductibles or on each specific country, I wanted to know how much am I going to give on that country, or how much will be deducted on my funds when imagine yourself when you click this country, it gives you an accurate view of how much fund that you are needing to give. So let's try to put on gauge. All right, and click on deductibles. Drag deductibles to value. All right. So it gives an accurate 2 million. So basically, 2 million is the overall deductible that is needed for all of the countries. So I'm gonna set up a value. I'm just gonna set up the value here. So minimum of 1,000 and a maximum of 2 million. Okay. There we go. 2 million. Oh. All right. And the target is a maximum of around 10K. So, my mistake. Around 1 million. All right. All right. My mistake. All right. There we go. So I'm gonna click or just edit the interactions. So let's just say click the first chart, go to formats, edit interactions, and click this. All right, perfect. And lock on charts. Lock on objects. And when I click the specific country that I wanted to see how much will be deducted on my fund, so let's just say I'm gonna click on Australia. It gives you an accurate view of Australia, but again, you need a data that shows the address, a detailed data that shows the address. So when I click Australia, it gives me that Australia needs around 900K. So it's gonna be deducted on my funds. 19K needs to be deducted on my funds because Australia needs that 900K. So again, I'm gonna click on England, and England just needs around 10K. So it gives you a much accurate detail really. So even if you click each one, it shows you the second chart interacts with the first. So again, this is how to use multiple charts as well, manage the interactions of charts by using as well pages, and also using basically formats as well. So it gives you a much more lively visualization of display when you use filters, formats, as well managing the interactions with each chart. So again, kindly watch our videos and we'll keep on creating more.